So at the very end, what is Ionesco trying to say here? I think there's a couple things we can take away from this, right? If we look at the connection that we have with the Bald Soprano, and I believe there is one, Ionesco's work is very much about language. It's very much about language and interactions with each other, and the ability to communicate, and the ability to speak with each other and have communication. In the Bald Soprano, it's used to sort of humorous effect, somewhat terrifying effect, that people can't talk to each other, they don't understand each other, they speak over each other, they speak through each other, they don't see how language works in the same way. In this particular play, in Rhinoceros, what we see is that people, again, are kind of speaking over each other, that there is an inability to communicate what is most essential, and that it is not necessarily language that is used to communicate. It is transformation, it's force, it's power, and it's this song that is maybe not a language. Ionesco is also, I believe, saying that there is never a point at which it is too late to do what is right, and that in the face of what is not right, we have some choices. We cannot be protected from those outside influences simply because we are quote-unquote good people. We have to choose to be good people all the time. If we decide not to be good people, then it doesn't matter how good we've been, suddenly we are supporting something that is unspeakable, right? In this case, the rhinoceros. That as people transform, we don't know why they're transforming or what they're doing, but there's a lot of destruction. Things are clearly not good. We can look at the rhinoceros and say that Ionesco clearly is not saying that the rhinoceros is the cool new trend and that it's a good thing and that Berenger should simply join in. We see that they cause destruction. They cause people to fight with each other. They cause damage. They are ruining the landscape in the country. They're not just flattening cats, they're flattening people. And at this point, to join them is to understand exactly what they are. It's to see what they've done. It's to understand that, their actions are not good, they're not laudable, and that if you join them, you are doing so with the full knowledge of what these people are. And that no matter how good you've been, that no matter how much you've tried to support and be good and be reasonable and be rational, that's not what's going to make things better in the end. Is Berenger an absurd hero? I think so. I think this is a clear picture of an absurd hero who is still, even at the very end, unsure of exactly what is going on, unsure of how things are progressing, unsure of what to make of the entire situation, but willing to fight at the end, even if there are moments of weakness. Camus reminds us, moments of weakness are moments of weakness. They are not failures unless we allow them to carry us into disaster, right? Unless we allow them to carry us into despair, and we don't fight that despair. Berenger is clearly in despair by the end of this play. He does not know what's going to happen. He does not know how to win. And it's entirely possible that he won't. One against so many is probably not going to be a winning combination, but he is not going to give himself up. He is not going to let it destroy him. I think as an absurd hero, facing up to the fact that he's been trying to figure out why people are transforming, that we may never know exactly why some of these people transformed. We certainly can give our reasons and we can analyze the play, but that overall they've decided to transform, and that's what eventually has happened. And So I think that Ionesco really points to sort of the way that Camus' philosophy of the absurd can play out in real time. That it's not easy, but that what we are asked to do in living every day is not necessarily easy, and that as we move forward in our lives, we're going to have moments when people are changing around us, and we're not okay with it, and we don't understand why, and that it's our responsibility to simply say, you know what, I may not know why I don't think this is right. I may not always understand why I don't understand what people's actions are, but I know myself enough to say that this is not going to work. This is not going to be okay. So I think that's where we end with this particular play. It is a play that I think we can put our existential ideas into, and our absurdist ideas into. Are any of these people straight up existentialists or absurdists? No. I think these are regular people confronted with weird situations, and that we could read the philosophy onto them, right? We're certainly not going to accuse any of them of being one or the other. I think we can certainly claim Berenger as an absurd hero. I think that's an important thing to do. And overall, I hope that this play and that the accompanying movie was an interesting and enjoyable experience. It sort of bridges the gap between what we're going to be doing next when we look at Genet and what we have already done, right? Stick around for one more video. We're going to talk one more time about sort of the projects that are coming up, and also what I'm expecting you to do next week, as it's a very short week. So